Here now is Matt Schlapp, American Conservative Union chairman. Matt, apparently you can't get Dr. Pepper in Washington, D.C. on your own dime. If nobody sends you hairspray, well, your hair's just going to look the way it's going to look. This has gone from absurd to whatever's beyond absurd, plaid absurd or something. I don't know what that is. Your thoughts on the political fallout of these shenanigans?
Yeah, no, it's kind of amazing. It was a PR stunt that went horribly awry. They came and fled the Texas legislature, where 80% of voters believe in voter ID like they do nationwide. But they know that harms the Democratic prospects because, let's face it, the illegal voting is basically coming from the Democratic side. So they come out to D.C. and they create a super spreader without wearing their masks on their flight. And the White House will now not even comment about how many people at the White House are currently testing positive for the Delta variant. So it's a fine kettle of fish they've made for themselves.
Well, and apparently the president doesn't want anything to do with that kettle of fish, because though the Texas Democrats want to meet with him, he hasn't been willing to do that. They're frustrated. But look, I think he's just playing it smart here. I wouldn't want to get within 20 feet of this crew for a variety of reasons, Matt.
Yeah, and here's the fundamental thing, which is they left town because it's overwhelmingly popular in Texas to have to verify who you are in order to vote. Democrats want to normalize cheating at the ballot box. They want to normalize the idea that there shouldn't be any qualifications or specifications to vote. You can vote as many times as you want, even when you're not qualified to vote. And it's about time we call this for what this is. It's cheating. It needs to end. Anybody who's against voter ID, it's simply because they want to have cheating.
Well, we're talking about the trappings of this, the failed PR stunt. But you're right. There's substance at the heart of this. And the substance is a law on elections that deals with integrity and access. And I think what's happening here, Matt, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the failed PR stunt is actually showing people that there's actually a failed argument at the heart of the resistance to what's going on in Texas. Do you think that the pendulum is going to shift even more in terms of people saying, you know what, I don't think the resistance to these election laws is founded on anything?
Yeah, if you think about Texas in particular, Brian, which is you have the open border, you have the increased crime and drugs, you have these mayoral races that have flipped to Republican candidates or candidates that want to close that border. The Democrats are losing the argument on an open border, and when they combine that with the argument that anybody should be able to vote, including people who are here illegally in this country, these are 80–90% issues for our side, for my side on these questions. And so what you see with Democrats is they're losing the argument. They're losing the political argument left and right. And now they're going to lose this. They've stepped on this third rail of COVID and Chinese corona and the Delta variant. 2/3 of Americans think Joe Biden's doing a good job when it comes to this virus. But out of nowhere, these Democrats have exposed that they have all the same problems Donald Trump had, that if you're going to be out there acting as president, people around you will test positive, and you're going to have periods of time when cases spike. And do we blame Joe Biden for that just as we blamed Donald Trump for that? I don't think it's very fair, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Matt, I want to get your take on this briefly. It turns out not building a wall at the southern border is costing taxpayers a lot of money. A new report by Senate Republicans revealed the Biden administration is spending $2 billion to suspend construction of the wall. Matt, it's just more absurdity, is it not?
Yeah, it's true. And there were sections of the wall that the Trump administration didn't have the time to complete. And because there was millions of dollars of equipment on the Mexico side of that wall, and the president wanted to make sure we recaptured all that equipment. Most of these contracts have been let for a long period of time. So we're going to have to honor those contracts. And of course, the big cost that doesn't even get counted in the report that you're citing is the cost of the open border on these communities. The people in Texas who share most of this border with Mexico, they personally undergo the cost of increased crime, increased drugs, people who aren't legally here, who aren't here legally in the country, and the costs that those countries have to absorb with free education and free health care. All these people are still getting taken care of. They're all on Obamacare, and they are having to pay the cost. And what the Democrats are beginning to realize is they're getting a dose of reality. When you have impractical policy positions like open borders and no voter ID, you will see a great backlash at the ballot box, and we're already seeing it in Texas. And it's going to be a rough year next year for these Democrats.
Well, apparently they need a bigger dose of reality, because right now they're just asking for more Dr. Pepper and hairspray. Matt Schlapp, thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
They like Coca-Cola. They should be drinking Coca-Cola.
Okay, the puns begin. Thank you, Matt Schlapp. Good to see you.